The next reason is they're just plain ineffective. And somebody said they're overwhelming, and we don't know, are we talking, are we deciding, are we resolving things, are we just throwing things against? And the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes to that, they can't possibly be effective. Your team has to have different kinds of meetings, because if we don't, we usually end up having one meeting. We call it a staff meeting. It might be once a week or every couple weeks. And we go there and we spend a few hours or more engaged in what I call meeting stew. And meeting stew is when we take all the different reasons for having a meeting, we pull them out of the cupboard if we were a cook, and we pour them all into the same pot, and we stir it up together, and then we taste it, and it's horrible. It's not salty, it's not sweet, it's not vegetables, it's not fruit, it's not meat. It's just awful. And everybody goes, well, this is what we call meetings. Wrong. What we need to do as leaders, as the chefs of our meetings, if you will, is we need to separate out those ingredients in a way that makes them work and taste good. And so there's 4 different meals, if you will, that you should be having as a leadership team, different kinds of meetings. And I want to take you through them really quickly. The first one is, whenever possible, you should have what we call a daily check-in. The daily check-in is literally just getting in the same room and saying, how's it going? What's going on today? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We're talking about 5, maybe 10 minutes. No sitting down, no donuts, no agenda, just literally, and if somebody's not there, do it anyway. If they want to call in, fine. If they can't, that's fine. Just get into the habit every day to get together for 5 minutes. If you're co-located and you don't do this, it's just such a waste. Even if you're not co-located, finding 5 minutes where people call in and get on a Zoom call and just say, Bo, what are you doing today? What's Cody doing today? Where's Karen? She's not here. Oh, she's at that event. Oh, good to know. Just checking in with one another. The second kind of meeting, though, and this is the one most of us are familiar with, is we like to call it the weekly tactical. The weekly tactical is one of those meetings that lasts, 60 to 90 minutes probably. And the key to this meeting is what you're not going to do there. What this meeting is about: how are we doing? What do our goals look like? Are we ahead or behind? Is it green, yellow, or red? What are we getting done? And what near-term, short-term problems do we have to solve this week in order to hit our numbers or advance the cause? So it's about tactical things. It's about something that we could change in these next few weeks, few hours, few days. The ad hoc strategic meeting. And this usually is probably like 120 to 180 minutes. So it's like 2 to 3 hours, because you're like, this is a big issue and it's fun and it's interesting. And we're going to go into a conference room and get some pizza and some beer, roll up our sleeves and brainstorm and argue and bring in articles to look at and ask questions of one another. This is what most people go into business to do. It's what business schools call their case studies. And everybody thinks, when I go into business, we're going to solve big problems. The problem is we try to do these in the same session where we're doing this. The fourth one is called we call it quarterly, because we think it has to happen once a quarter. And it's the quarterly, we call it the quarterly offsite. And this is anywhere from a half day to 2 days. But probably if it's less than 3 hours, it's not going to work. And this is where you take a breath, like I need to do now. And you step back and you say, how's everything going? What's going on in the world, in our industry, in our team, among our employees? What are our competitors doing? Let's relax and take a bigger picture look at things. Not an urgent look, not a administrative, tactical, or even near-term strategic look, but let's step back and really guide this organization, steward it well.
Yeah.
Okay, these are fundamentally different things. Put them in the same pot, stir them together, and none of them taste good. Separate them out, do them one at a time, and every one of them is actually quite productive, doable, and even enjoyable.